Welcome into my little program, which is going to be saturated in soccer soon because everything's coming back. Not everything, but a lot of stuff's coming back. We'll talk about that here shortly. But let's begin with actual football because we can, thanks to our good friends, the Germans. Their plan's been fantastic. Less and less complications, less and less positive tests, less and less misbehaving. Now they get their full second round. The quality of play is improving. The host broadcaster pumped out ambient sound. It sounded better. And I think what you're going to see is the top teams being Bayern, Dortmund, Leipzig. I love saying it. Bayern Leverkusen. Hello? Leverkusen's legit. Kai Havertz has been the star since coming back. I think he has 4 goals. What about Karim Demirbay, the number 10? He's fantastic. I love Leverkusen. And they may have just gotten themselves back into this Bundesliga race. Maybe. Talk about that here in a moment. Leipzig had Timo Werner score a hat trick. We were talking about, some of my colleagues, as I tend to do, via text thread, about who was the best performance of this. Was it Havertz? Was it Werner? I say it's Marcel Sabitzer. That guy's the goods. That guy is the goods. Yusuf Poulsen also very good for Leipzig. I don't know if Leipzig can get into it. They stubbed their toe in the opening round, but they were impressive winning at Mainz. Maybe the big story, we know there's no real home field advantage because there are no fans, but there's still an advantage because you're playing at the park you're familiar with. You can sleep in your own bed. Well, you can't sleep in your own bed, but you're in your own town. But there's been no advantage. 18 Bundesliga games, 2 home wins. 2. That's crazy. Anyway, it's life goes on, and there'll be a midweek round coming up as well, which is going to be really exciting. It's Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. And Bayern Munich has won it 7 straight times. I think the league needs someone else to win it because we know these teams are good. You see what Leipzig and Dortmund have been able to do in the Champions League. But someone's got to pip them, and this is the best opportunity to pull Bayern back. Bayern have looked great, but Dortmund have looked excellent as well. It's going to be Tuesday. It is the biggest game since everything returned. They call it their classic, but the Germans say they don't call it. It's not a derby. Real Madrid, Barcelona is not a derby. It's a classic because these two big. But derbies have to be regional or clásicos certainly. This is a good chance, and if Dortmund can win, and then it helps Leverkusen or Leipzig to get back in this. This would be amazing, and you actually have 5 teams tightly packed there. Not tightly, Bayern's a little bit adrift, but those 4 Champions League spots is going to be compelling to watch. And already they'll have their 3rd game under their belt. That's remarkable. So many good performances, and I think this one's going to be a game that lives up to the billing. By the way, between Bayern and Dortmund, they have won the Bundesliga title every year since 2009. Do you know who was the last team not named Bayern or Dortmund to win it? Yes, Wolfsburg. I am the Wolfsburg. So there you go. All right, let's talk about some of the leagues coming back. Major League Soccer, it's near and dear to me. There was actually a leak of the information about this tournament in Orlando. It was reported by The Athletic. 26 teams coming to the Wide World of Sports facility in Orlando. There at Disney World. They've also mentioned about what they're going to do. It's going to be an 18-team playoff. Some games from this tournament, which will be held in June, will classify for a season that will probably begin in July. There are no interconference play, so which I love. I think that's a no-brainer. But sometimes even the easy decisions don't always fall in there. So they're going to move Nashville to the east, and East will play the East, the West will play the West. I think they should keep it that way. I think that should be it. I mean, it should be like those old days of baseball where you only saw the East till the very end. I think it gives it a little bit more weight. I mean, give LAFC another game with the Galaxy. Give Seattle another game with Portland. Those are the biggest games of the season. Anyway, this is a bit of a novelty, this tournament. It's there more for the TV partners. I have an issue with it because clearly things are getting back to normal. We're hearing it from New York and California. So those places are getting back to normal. And they said, both the governors of those states said they could be back by June. So July for sure. That's giving yourself enough clearance to get all the protocol into place. So my issue with this is it's going to be such a pain. It's going to be an undertaking Probably don't need all these teams there. Also, it's going to be in Orlando, which is, if you've been in Orlando in June, there's nowhere worse to be in summer. It's inland Florida. There's no sea breeze or anything. It is the hottest place on the face of the earth, just about. My issue with it is it's going to take so much work to do. But if Major League Soccer is happy to do it, and if it makes the TV partners whole, I am all for watching games in June. So bring it on. It is a bit of a novelty, but why not? You got to try new things. La Liga is going to resume June the 11th. That's where they've marked. This is less than 3 weeks. Competitive sports back in Spain in June the 8th. First game's going to be the Seville Derby. I'll get to that. EPL possibly June the 12th. It's incredible. All these great leagues, the biggest leagues in the world coming in. I'm sure we're going to hear from a city. In Liga 1, which they closed the doors on their season. Jean-Michel Aulas, the Lyon president, very upset, as he should be, because now France is going to look at all these teams, and same with the Netherlands, going, oh man, they're getting along just all right. Maybe we shouldn't have been so hasty. But it takes a lot of work to come back from this. That's why I have so much respect for what the Bundesliga is doing. I still can't believe it's happening. And they're going to get like 6 games under their belt before anyone starts playing, maybe more. So La Liga looks pretty good to be coming in. Everything has to be worked out. June the 11th, as I mentioned, there will be Sevilla Betis. Sevilla have a player, Ever Banega, very classy Argentine midfielder. There was a photo where he put it on Instagram and quickly deleted it, or maybe his girlfriend did that. And obviously they're in the phase in Spain of gradual relaxing of the lockdown, but you can't get together. And I said this last week, the players and everyone involved have to go above and beyond to not mess it up. They have to be meticulous. They have to be perfect in this situation to let it come back, because any hiccups could wreck the whole thing. So unfortunately, the players have to really, really stay on course here. That said, the tattletale society we live in there makes me want to vomit. I hated tattled. I hated snitching. And this someone saw the photo. Go, look at this. It was him. The worst thing about the photo was the hat he was wearing. It was like 6 couples. They say like don't get together with more than 10 people. There must have been 12 people in that photo. And they're all very familiar. They weren't strangers. But, again, he has to be careful. But I hate the it was all over social media. Go, look at Ever Banega. It's very disappointing. But this is the society we live in now. Tattletales. My teachers used to, with tattletales. This was a long time ago. I must have gone to school in the Wild West, but it was crazy. So anyway, things are on track for all these leagues to come back, and we are very excited to see it. One thing I did see, because the transfer market is starting to pick up as well. Mario Götze, who was on the Soccer OG a little bit ago, he made my out-of-shape footballers. The guy's super talented. He had the game-winning goal in the 2014 World Cup. He is now available, a free transfer at the end of the season. Arsenal, he's at Dortmund, Arsenal, Everton, all these Premier League teams looking to get it. He has a long history of injuries. He probably is not the fittest guy on any team, but this is really a crossroads. He's still a young player. You'd like to see him. I'd love to see him come to Major League Soccer, but he's got to figure it. But maybe England is the direction. Maybe he goes to like a mid-table team. I hear if Everton's interested, maybe that's a good spot. So there's certainly opportunity. But Mario Götze, you feel for him. It's just been this mercurial talent that has played at the top clubs in Bayern and Dortmund, but it just hasn't worked out for him. And this is the opportunity for him to see. So fitness, and hopefully can avoid the injury bug, which has, clouded his career from the very beginning. But everyone getting back to facilities. Life is good on the Soccer OG. Make sure you watch that game Tuesday, Bayern Dortmund. It's good. It's good. And please subscribe to my little program. This one.